All right, here we go. 3 out of 3, grief. Looks like a lot of these are going to be car videos. It's a way to be somewhat private, but I can do these on the go. I don't have to wait till I get home or do them in the morning or whatever. I don't know if this is exactly the same thing as grief, but I feel like I've always been perpetually melancholy or nostalgic, even when I was little. I mean, it's hard to be nostalgic when you haven't had much life experience, but I feel like I have. I feel like I've always heard songs on the radio. I mean, that was one thing that my dad gave me, is that he was always listening to music and the songs of his generations, which, even then, in the 80s were, known as oldies. And I've gotten that history, and I've gotten that, I can name an obscure 50s and 60s deep cut, probably within 2 or 3 notes. And, he was even better at that, because those were the songs that were on the radio when he was growing up. Those were actually his songs, And, but I'd hear these songs and I'd have a connection to them, even though I wasn't really old enough to even really understand, like there's a song, Ode to Billie Joe, right? And she talks about like this crazy, Billie Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. It's like, what does a 7-year-old know about suicide, Nothing, hopefully. Or just longing for relationships, or like pining for, romance or something like that in 6th grade, listening to these, there was this radio station that would have like love notes where you could like, dedicate songs or whatever. And I'm in 6th grade. I'm like 11 years old or 12 years old. I never had a boyfriend. I never had been kissed or anything like that. So I feel like psychic grieving, I don't know what I had lost. I don't know, like a maybe childhood, being that my dad was really sick and almost dying when I was young, maybe. He had a kidney transplant when I was real young and was real sick and almost died, which then he had that kidney until he died, which was pretty great. But, I don't know. I just feel like, to some extent, I've had a lot of sadness that I've never really acknowledged or never really understood. And now that I'm like legit sad, I have a reason to be like legit sad. I just feel like I'm understanding all of it a little better, or feeling it a little better, or processing it a little more. Here we go. 3 minutes. Ryan. Bye.